The following is a presentation of TFNN. It is now time for Living a Primal Lifestyle with your host, Nico de Haan. And now, here's Nico de Haan.
Hi, folks. Welcome to Living a Primal Lifestyle. I'm your host, Nico de Haan. It's June 1st on a Friday afternoon, kind of rainy here in Clearwater, Florida. And my call-in number here is 877-927-6648. If you'd like to join the show, I have an international number, 727-445-1044. I have a new issue of Health Signals out right now. Just put it up this morning. And, of course, you can get this twice a month for only $10 a month. You get it free for the first 30 days, so when you sign up, you can check it out for a couple of issues. There's a sample issue up there, too. And, it's a great bargain. You get a lot of news about what to keep healthy and interesting stuff about your health and your fitness and diet, how to get you motivated. You can reach me also at nico@tfnn.com if you have any questions or comments. Want to email me. And remember, these shows are archived on tfnn.com, on iTunes, and on livingaprimallifestyle.com. That's where the video feeds are, and my blog is. So how's everybody doing in the chat room? Live on the internet, streaming live, and on radio, and here on Tiger TV. It's great. It's a great day. I ran across this article, New Weight Loss Plan for the United States Obesity Crisis. This is from May 8th, 2012. Obesity in America is a crisis that threatens national security, and urgent action is needed, says the Institute of Medicine. And their plan is totally change the way America approaches exercise and nutrition. How? By asking every single American to become involved, says Daniel Klickman. He's the chairman of the Institute of Medicine committee that had issued a 478-page plan. He's a former Secretary of Agriculture under President Bill Clinton, and he's the director of congressional programs at the Aspen Institute. Okay, that's cool. When you have a national epidemic of this size, it is in the hands of every individual to make this happen, he says. When people understand the consequences of not taking action, they will understand. This will require bold actions from all sectors of society. And the report issues a blunt and strong challenge that obesity threat is imminent and enduring to our children and our nation. It holds everyone accountable. Part of the threat is economic. The estimated cost of obesity is $190 billion a year in U.S. marks. In the U.S., Mark said at a teleconference. And part of the threat is two-thirds of Americans are overweight or obese at the risk of diabetes, cancer, and early death. And what can we do about it? And this report spells out a detailed, extensive, and expensive plan. Yeah, I'll bet it's expensive, that's for sure. The plan calls for individual, community, school, and workplace action. It also calls on government to confront entrenched interest in revising agricultural subsidies, restricting the advertising of sugared beverages and fast foods, and regulating restaurants that offer calorie-dense food to children. These things must be done, blah, 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 blah. And the plan, let's see, on the face of it, they have 5 main goals. The first one is make physical activity an integral and routine part of life. Well, that's the way we used to have it. They just want to go back to the way they used to have it, I guess. Recess for kids again. Maybe we'll get some good things out of this. Okay, create food and beverage environments that ensure that healthy food and beverage options are the routine, easy choice. Okay. Transform messages about physical activity and nutrition. Okay, so they're going to have a lot of advertising in there, brainwash us. Expand the roles of healthcare providers, insurers, and employers, and make schools a national focal point. As usual, the devil is in the details. For each of these broad goals, there are distinctive proposals, and the committee members make it clear it's an intricate plan. It won't work if, of course, nobody takes part in the whole thing. And then includes improving, all this, of course, is government, handing you down different things that they want you to do, when it should be the other way around. It should be left up to us individually and as a community, a small community, to handle our own food. The problem I see that we have really is we have these large corporations that really took over our food. And this really started back maybe in the 50s is what I remember my food changing, with the change in the breakfast, going from bacon and eggs and meat and eggs and things like that, and leftovers from the night before, and all of a sudden Kellogg cornflakes came in. That's the first thing that I remember. And that slowly started to change. And then in the 60s, we got a few fast food places cropping up, and it really started to change. Then in the mid-70s is when they came up with the great idea to remove all the bad fats, the so-called bad fats, out of our diet. And to, they really never mentioned a lot about sugar, because if you take all the good fat out of things, you're going to have something that doesn't taste very good, so that you have to replace it with only two other choices, really, is the salt and sugar. So that's what they replaced our food with. So you can see how it really changed just over the last 50 years, and specifically since the mid-70s. Then it really started changing. I remember if we went to a fast food place when I was a kid, it was a rare occasion. Then by the time I got at the end of high school and going into college in the 60s, all of a sudden it was like a routine to go to lunch because it was fast. You could grab it. What the heck? It's not any worse than anything else out there that's being made. So we thought. But there was a big change, because before we were getting the food mostly from local people. Then once these companies started getting larger and larger, not only did they want to have control over just the cornflakes or the cereals or whatever they were making, but they also wanted to get the cost down. So they get it from cheaper and cheaper places. We get it from farther and farther away. We have to put all kinds of things in it. So that's my phone. I guess I forgot to turn that off. Sorry about that. Okay, that's my telephone. Anyway, I think that's really where we went wrong. So, if we go back into where the community is taking care of the food and not have these large corporations, I think that would solve a whole host of our problems. First of all, then we'd be much more in tune with the environment, naturally, and we probably would really take care of the environment around us, because this is where the food would be coming from. It would shift our focus a little bit closer to home. I mean, if you want to grow something in your own garden, you're going to really take care and make sure you've got the right fertilizer. You want it to be organic as possible. And the same thing if you did it as a community. You'd start really looking at the land as a basis for your source of food. And it would shift the whole community that way. It would also put a lot of people, of course, into an employment of some kind, whether it's on a trading basis or we're doing it, just exchanging food or whatever the mechanism is. It would be, it would be much more community involved, and everybody would know where the food comes from, and everybody's lives would change. Of course, it would put large companies out of business, which, politically, I guess that's the other two-edged sword, so to speak, because you have these companies that are being looked out for to succeed, no matter what they're producing. If it's a large company, I mean, first of all, they give money to the people in charge as campaign, money. And they get the promises back to make sure that their business keeps going. So it's really a catch-22. So I think the only way we can really do it is to do it locally. And we sort of take much more control over our own lives. And, that's really the way I want to look at my health anyway. I want to be able to control my own health and what I am going to be eating, what I'm going to be doing health-wise, and what I'm going to be working in. Those are the freedoms that I want. Those are inherent freedoms as far as I'm concerned. So, living a primal lifestyle encompasses that whole frame of mind of saying, okay, what is my inherent freedom that every human being here is born with? Well, it's to exist and to be happy and to have little interference from anybody doing it, unless, of course, I'm doing something drastically wrong to the norm, and then that takes care of itself. I think the less rules and laws we had just a good society, or probably a better society, when we didn't have all these influences getting us from every single side, from the food side, from the political side, from the exercise side, saying, you have to do this, you have to do that. No, we don't have to do these things. We're sold on the idea of doing these things to make this living and to do these things. So that's kind of the way I look at it too. I ran across something interesting, just going off the subject a little bit, that in my newsletter on page 9 this week, we have the squatty potty. And this is just another kind of indication of how society has led us down the wrong road. And this squatty potty is just basically a little stool that makes you sit in a squatting position when you go to the bathroom. Okay, a much more natural. That's the natural way. If you go out in the woods, that's the way you have to do. You have to squat. And the toilet, of course, was invented to make us more comfortable. Much more civilized, of course, they say. But it turns out that there's a lot of problems with the alignment. So when you're not in the squatting position, the sphincter, where you're eliminating from, actually takes an about face, does it to a 90-degree angle. So if you're just sitting, that's the way it does. So it actually restricts the flow, our natural flow, of what you're trying to do. Just that position alone. If you're in a squatting position, that thing is straight up and down, just like a big tube. And there's an illustration in there. There's a short little article about this, and I tried to, I've been using a stool for many years, and I saw this article in there. I thought it was very interesting because it conforms to the commode and all that. But after that, in there also, I have this whole section about if you're, it's called Studying Stools, so it gives you an indication of what that's about. So it's really taking a look at your elimination, and by the different colors and the consistency, you can tell a lot. And there's an in-depth article in here that really goes into this with all kinds of links, so you can start investigating some, and if you feel you've got some kind of a problem, this may lead you in the direction that it could help you. Okay? I'm no expert, but this really enlightened me on a lot of things, and just, it's really good information to have. So pick up my Health Signals newsletter. It's a new issue, and, try it out for 30 days, and it's only $10 a month. It's like $5 an issue. Very much worth it. You get value for value on that. You can call me at 877-927-6648. I'll be back in a couple of minutes. And, of course, you can contact me through email at nico@tfnn.com. I'll be right back.
In just December of last year, the price of gold was down over 10%. In today's highly volatile gold market, you need someone in your corner that understands the complex relationships that exist within the price of gold, as well as within a variety of gold equities. Whether it's the South African gold miners and knowing how the rand-dollar relationship will affect their bottom line, or understanding how John Paulson's $5 billion trade in the GLD can move the market, Tom O'Brien gives you the direction you need to become a better trader each week in his newsletter, The Gold Report. With over 20 individual equities covered and almost another 20 on the potential watch list each week, in addition to covering the XAU, HUI, GLD, and dollar, The Gold Report is a great source for any trader that is looking to be diversified in today's volatile gold market. For your 30-day free trial to Tom O'Brien's Gold Report, log on to TFNN.com today. Don't miss out on this great offer. Act now. You take a hands-on approach to managing your investment strategy. You're always looking for the next trading opportunity to magnify your perspective. Direction Shares connects sophisticated traders with a powerful array of ETFs from a wide range of asset classes. The markets may go up and down, and you want tools for both sides of the trade. Discover how we can help at DirectionShares.com today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction Shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction Shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction Shares at 800-851-0511. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors employing dynamic strategies. Investors in the fund should understand the consequences of seeking daily investment results, understand the risk of shorting, and intend to actively monitor and manage their investments. Distributor Foresight Fund Services, LLC.
Hi, I'm Steve Rhodes, co-host of The Money Masters with Tom O'Brien, seen daily at TFNN.com, author of Mastering Probabilities, a daily investment and trading newsletter, and teacher of the money game. Studies show that 3 out of 5 people are afraid for their life in trading these markets, and the number one reason given is fear of loss. Look, fear stands for false evidence appearing real, and the money game proves it. Lesson number 1, don't risk more than 1% of your trading capital on any trade. Why, you ask? Because 35 trades in a row where you risk 50 cents and make $1 are all you need to double your trading capital, versus the 230 losing trades in a row you would need to bring your balance to $100. Let me teach you more about the money game risk-free for 30 days. Go to the homepage of TFNN.com and click on my name, Steve Rhodes, for your 30-day risk-free trial. You were born to be a money master, and I'll teach you how.
Kate Stalter's exciting newsletter, Low Priced Leaders, has just launched, and now is a great time to get a 2-week free trial. Every Wednesday afternoon, Kate sends out her weekly newsletter to her subscribers, where she focuses on small cap stocks with market caps under $2 billion, as well as low-priced equities with share prices ranging from $5 to $12. Kate tracks a variety of stocks with a combination of strong technical support and solid fundamentals. Many of the stocks featured will be recent IPOs. These newer issues are often some of the biggest price gainers in the market and provide an excellent opportunity for substantial gains if timed correctly. You can catch Kate Stalter live on Tiger TV with her Small Cap Roundup every Tuesday and Thursday at 11 a.m. Eastern Time, and visit TFNN.com right now to get your 2-week free trial to her brand new newsletter, Low Priced Leaders, while locking in the low introductory monthly rate of only $37.50 per month, almost a 50% discount. Act now.
This segment is brought to you by Great Panther Silver. For more information, just click the Great Panther Silver banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Welcome back to the show, folks. It's Nico on Living a Primal Lifestyle. My call-in number here is 877-927-6648 if you'd like to join the program. You know, we like to think that here in America we have freedom, and especially when it comes to eating and choosing what we want to eat. And that seems like just a normal thing that would be for us. And if we ever had... if somebody was to tell us that, you know, there's a government agency that, or a private company that says is the one that's going to dictate to us what we have to eat, then we think we'd probably be in some kind of in Russia or something like that. But what actually is what's going on is the American Dietetic Association has a monopoly on advice for your diet, specifically diet and exercise too. So me not being a certified dietitian or somebody that is licensed as somebody who can prescribe meals, you know, they have the real control over this whole thing, and we're not even, I can't tell you this is what's good for you. I can tell you, do your own research, and this is what I've found is good for me, and this is the logical thing, what you should be eating, but I can't really prescribe to you people, you know, how you should be eating and how you should be acting. That, you know, that just seems a logical part of it. But the other part of it is, if you are a licensed dietitian, you can only tell your people, your audience, what they want you to know. In other words, this organization has control over what you can tell these people. You can't tell them about the primal diet because that's not part of their plan. And what happens, of course, is this association is really given a lot of money by a lot of people. And I just got a list of some of them. Here's some of the partners. Coca-Cola revenue that they gave them is $31.4 billion. Let's see, GlaxoSmithKline, $42.5 billion is their revenue. Hershey's, $5.3 billion. Unilever, $55.8 billion. Aramark, $12.3 billion. Mars, $30 billion. PepsiCo, $44.3 billion. Truvia Sweetener, which is a parent company of Cargill, $116.6 billion. Kellogg's, $12.7 billion. And these are all sponsors with revenues over $400 billion altogether. So these are the companies that are funding the American Dietetic Association. That's the reason I brought this up is I'm speaking at my local health food store, which is Nature's Food Patch here in Clearwater. It's on a week from Thursday, or no, this coming Thursday, next week, the 7th of June. And they have a letter in hand, and they gave it to all the speakers saying that, if you're not a licensed dietitian, first of all, you can't talk to people about what they're supposed to be eating and what they're not supposed to be eating. The second thing is, if you are, you better be telling them you have to eat this certain way. In other words, you have to stick to the rules that this Dietetic Association has come up with. And of course, it's telling you to eat grains and eat cereals, and you have to have this many of this and this many of that. And of course, they're also behind you taking all kinds of drugs, so that's fine. And these are the people that are telling all the overweight people in the United States what they should be eating. And of course, we keep getting fatter and fatter. So, as a nation, we're not really getting well, and organizations like this really aren't helping us. There should be nobody telling us what to eat. We should be able to figure this out for ourselves. And if we get back to basics, it's very easy to figure out because there's not a lot of stuff hanging around. Like when you go to the grocery store, you go to the grocery store, and 90% of the food. If you go into the middle section and you take away all the stuff that's just paper goods and you just see what food actually is in these boxes and cans, it's survival food, something that is the last resort that you'd want to eat. But if you're dying, you're going to eat it. That's the way I look at it. And the rest of the food around the edges, which is your produce and your fish and your meat, and you discount the bread and the pastry and all that stuff, that's the three sections that's really good for you. If you stick with that, you're making a really good start on changing the way that your health is going to be for the next 10 to 20 years. And that's the way I really want to look at my life. I want to look at it. What's going to happen at the home stretch, let's say, near the end of my life? What's that going to look like for me? Because that's what I have control over. I'll be right back, folks. It's 877-927-6648. I'll be right back.
Like a personal update from Tom O'Brien as to what equities he's trading and what his daily trading plan is before the market opens each morning? Every market day, Tom O'Brien sends out his daily newsletter, Market Insights, to hundreds of subscribers that rely on his daily recommendations when it comes to navigating these highly volatile markets we're dealing with. As recently as May 21st, Market Insights subscribers closed out all 5 open positions for a combined profit of over 68% in one day. Profits ranged from 6.5% to over 24%, and all of these trades had been initiated within the previous 30 days. Now is the perfect time to get a 2-week free trial to Tom O'Brien's explosive trading newsletter, Market Insights, an $85 value. Tom breaks down the market each morning with his market take and provides trade recommendations including precise stops and target profit zones, leaving nothing left to guessing. Log on to TFNN.com today and sign up for your 2-week free trial. Make sure you're a subscriber the next time Market Insights subscribers close out multiple winning trades. Take action and sign up for your free trial today. Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when temporary market spikes move against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a new and innovative Chicago-based exchange registered with the Commodity Futures Trading Commission, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their trading platform. Nadex never charges a fee to use their platform, which even includes real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped, and you have the advantage of keeping your trades open even when the market temporarily spikes against you. Nadex's innovation has allowed them to come up with a line of unique short-term binary options that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com, or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors. You've heard Basil Chapman on the air hosting the Tiger Technicians Hour and always wondered what's behind his powerful Chapman wave. Well, Basil has just announced a one-day online master trader course where he'll explain his Chapman wave methodology in detail so that you can learn how to chart Basil's one-of-a-kind formation techniques in real time while the market is open. Not only do you get a full-day online master trader course with Basil during live market hours, but by signing up now, you also get a free month of his newsletter, The Opening Call, a $128 value, along with access to his Moving Averages webinar, another $99 value. This online course takes place Friday, June 8th, and will be archived so you can view it as many times as you like for 30 days following the course. Make sure you take advantage of this one-of-a-kind Master Trader course with Basil Chapman during live market hours by visiting the front page of TFNN.com and reserving your spot today.
In just December of last year, the price of gold was down over 10%. In today's highly volatile gold market, you need someone in your corner that understands the complex relationships that exist within the price of gold, as well as within a variety of gold equities. Whether it's the South African gold miners and knowing how the Rand-dollar relationship will affect their bottom line, or understanding how John Paulson's $5 billion trade in the GLD can move the market, Tom O'Brien gives you the direction you need to become a better trader each week in his newsletter, The Gold Report. With over 20 individual equities covered and almost another 20 on the potential watch list each week, in addition to covering the XAU, HUI, GLD, and dollar, The Gold Report is a great source for any trader that is looking to be diversified in today's volatile gold market. For your 30-day free trial to Tom O'Brien's Gold Report, log on to TFNN.com today. Don't miss out on this great offer. Act now.
This segment is brought to you by Crocodile Gold. For more information, just click the Crocodile Gold banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Welcome back to the show, folks. It's Nico on Living a Primal Lifestyle. The number here is 877-927-6648. I'd like to remind you to pick up my Health Signals newsletter. New issue out today. Packed a lot of good stuff in there. One of the exercise page near the back there, it talks about some simple exercises you can do with a tire. Now, you don't have to have a tire, but you can use other things too. But the tire is a used tire from your car or truck. Easy to pick up. Usually tire companies throw this stuff away so you can pick one up, or if you have one around. It's real easy to use. You can use it just about anywhere. And, of course, outside is a great place to do it. But there's some great exercises on there, so you need to take a look at that. It's $10 a month. Try it free for 30 days. And if you don't like it, you can sign off on it and no charge. Of course, before the break, we were talking about making decisions and talking about what is going to allow you to make any kind of change in your life, to be healthier, to be more fit, to just have a better life, let's say. And one of the ways is to look at what the end goal. What do you want to look like at 80 or 90? We have it so much different. Because it used to be that in their 50s and 60s and 70s, you were already old. Now, today, modern age, now I'm between the 60s and 70s, almost 68, a couple of months, and I look at it completely different. I don't feel any different when I was 30. Of course, I never really dreaded growing old because I always had this picture in my mind of getting old was cool. because the older I am, the wiser I am. And in all the history books and everybody, you strive to be the wise old person, But one of the things that I did want to do, I knew at the end of my life, I still wanted to have the same vigor and vitality and do physically the same things I was always doing. Because I can't picture myself not doing these things. So when I look at the end of my life, and whatever that might be, and, going on towards 70, I'm thinking, boy, I'm halfway there. But I'm almost looking at it like halfway to me is when I'm on my deathbed. That's halfway, because then I figure I got a whole lifetime ahead of that too. Because I kind of look at it like, what if you needed to be healthy at the end of your life to go on to the next thing, whatever's there? Because we don't know what's going to happen. I mean, we have all these great theories and we have these great religions, but nobody really knows. So, and a lot of people will have faith and cling to one idea, which I always thought, well, that is kind of counter to what my mind says. My mind says always investigate. And when you think you already have the answer, you stop that investigation. So I want a clear picture of what I want to look like, but I don't want a clear picture, or I can never have, let's say, a clear picture of what's going to happen afterwards, because that's kind of the unknown stuff, and you can't picture that. You can only theorize about it, and that's a lot of fun, but it doesn't really get you anywhere. So, looking at that picture of what I want to be like, now I have to, the next question always is what do I do now? Well, of course, if you're not happy with the way things are, you have to make a change. And this is where the problem comes in. How do I make that change? Well, it always comes about by coming up with questions. And that's the real key to any part of anything in life that's going to steer you in the right direction. You have to ask a question, whether it's asking somebody else a question or asking yourself a question. And you have to ask a great question always. How can I improve this? And what would it look like if I was doing this? If you want to start something like I did with Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, you really have to ask the question, what kind of person would I be if I did this? And there's only benefits to it. Certainly I'd be a lot stronger, be a lot more flexible, probably be helpful, get rid of my stress, things like this. So there's a lot of answers when you ask a good question. So if you want to change your diet, you say, I know I'm not eating quite right, and how do I go about changing it? You have to ask, well, how would I feel if I changed this part of my diet? Let's start with breakfast. How would I feel if all of a sudden every day for the next 30 days I changed my breakfast to what I know is a real healthy breakfast? And do that for 30 days and see what the change is. Keep track of it. So that's how you kind of reinforce it. And then you can make another change. Or you can go like I did with a lot of things. I always go full bore into whatever I do. So when I decided to do jiu-jitsu, I went and bought a gi first, just to get the commitment in there. If I wanted to change my diet, I always changed it completely. When I changed to the primal type diet, I did it in one day. I said to my wife, want to do it? She says, I'll try it for 2 weeks, and boom, we were right into it. We went to the health food store that day, bought all the stuff we needed, ordered other things, got rid of the other stuff, and it was done. But you can take it easy too. But first of all, you have to determine that you're not happy with what's going on right now. And if one way to kind of solidify that in your mind is that think about what is bothering you physically first. You get a cold often, you feel tired all the time, you're not sleeping well, whatever the symptom is, you got acne, your shoulder hurts, whatever it is, how can you form a question around that saying, okay, I want to make a change in this. So now what's the question I should be asking myself? And come up with that great question that you have. So the question will steer you in the right direction, because all you have to do is take one step from that towards that question. And that points you right in the right direction. It's always really worked well for me. One of the things we're talking about, of course, is we're talking about diet, but we can also be talking about your fitness level. You can talk about your general health. Our whole system of going to the doctor and having him say, oh, you're either okay or not, doesn't really get you anywhere. except, as far as modern medicine, for me, we're great at surgery things, and we're great at fixing things when you have an accident. And but as far as the life scope of having a healthy life, it doesn't seem to help you by going to the doctor. There's certain conditions you need to go to him for, but certainly as a general rule, you're not going to ask your doctor, well, what should I be eating? Because first look at the doctor, I guess. If he's in great shape, you may want to say, okay, at least I'll listen to him for a while. But most of the doctors I see are kind of overweight, and they're not really taking care of themselves anyway. So, we're always looking for choices on what we should be eating, what we should be doing, what we should be doing for, after work. Everybody has their time that we have to be at work. And, you try to pick out the best thing you can and the healthiest thing you can work and have a passion for. And that's really what makes you fulfill your life, if you have a passion for what you're doing. And if you do that, that's a great step. Now, the next step is straightening your diet out, maybe getting a little more physical conditioning. And, once your diet is really good, the physical conditioning comes rather easy because you don't have to do as much as the whole community out there is saying you need to do. When you're looking at living a primal lifestyle and you look at exercise, what we did centuries ago when we were hunter and gatherers, we were strong and active, but we weren't out exercising every single day. We had it when we needed it, and we went looking for food and making a shelter, and that's what kept us pretty much really fit. So we don't need as much. You certainly don't have to spend hours on a treadmill. You don't have to run for an hour. You can do a 20-minute workout 3 times a week and just be very, very physical. I think the good goal to have, however, is to have some kind of physical hobby, whether it's tennis or golf or jiu-jitsu like I do, or baseball or basketball or dancing, anything like that. Well, in our modern society, it makes us more in tune with just being active. So if you're doing something like that, you're going to be thinking about keeping yourself fit so you can keep doing it. And I think that's a real important part of being healthy. It also puts you in tune with another group of people who are doing similar things, and that's kind of the tribal concept I sometimes talk about. I think it's important to have these little communities that you can go to, so you're not just doing in one community. I go to the jiu-jitsu community, I go to the TFNN community, I go to my personal training community. I have a little community that my wife and I have together with an extended family of people, and then you have your immediate family, and you know what I'm talking about. It's all these different groups, and the more you have of those and come in contact with different people, I think it just broadens your whole scope of what the world is out there. And that's something I think our prehistoric ancestors really didn't travel quite as much, although that some of them got amazingly far. But as a community, you really didn't probably move out of your community. I still meet people all the time in different areas of the country when I visit, and you'll find some people that have never moved out of the neighborhood, and you think, my goodness, I've been to Europe and I've been here and there, and just traveling all around the United States, there's so much to see. So anyway, got off the topic there. So when we're looking at things, some of the physical things that we get can cause problems for us, like colds and flus and allergies. These are just a series of things saying there's something imbalanced in your body, that it's trying to tell you that, hey, fix me. And there's something you're doing that you're doing to me that's wrong. And usually it's food. If it's physical, because you bang your knuckles or something like that, or you hit your hand with a nail, with a hammer, then immediately. But with food's a little more, But what else are we taking in our body? I mean, it's the air or the food or the water. It's got to be one of those things that's causing a problem for us. So whatever that problem is, know that it's a small irritant that's going to get worse and worse as you get older. So as we get older, if you still want that picture out there of yourself looking healthy, you have to start today. And that's the biggest thing that I can tell you, is that there's no reason why you can't start it immediately. And say this afternoon, I'll pick up something on the way home, go to the health food store, and start investigating this whole thing for yourself, because that's what you have to do. You have to go out there yourself and dig up this information. One of the ways, of course, listening to my show, I do try to steer you in the right direction. But if you can base your whole diet around some protein and get some good fat in there, and you eat a little bit of greens, there's really nothing left but that. That's the great food there is. That's the best there is. The rest of it's really just filler. When you're talking about the bread and the pasta and all that stuff, that's just filler. By itself, it really doesn't taste any good. What's a piece of bread if you don't have a piece of butter on it? Unless, you're baking it with the butter in there or something like that. But most of it's dry and just, and as far as drinking things, water. That's the basic thing. Little alcohol. I like that. So a little water, a lot of water, little alcohol, and protein in the form of some kind of animal or bird or fish or shellfish with some natural fat attached to it, supplemented with some good coconut oil or palm oil, maybe a few nuts here and there, and some vegetables, greens, and you've got a nice balanced meal, easy to fix just about anywhere. So it's not that hard to do. We really can't rely on the advertisers, the large companies that are promoting their food. We can't rely on those things. We also can't seem to rely on our medical community, because they're also bought into the whole thing of these large companies taking care of us. And I don't want to be taken care of like that. I don't want large companies dictating my food. I want a small, where I can go down the corner and grab something from somebody that I know and that's grown it in my area. That's the ideal system for me. And with that comes a whole different setup for communities, mindset. I think it takes care of a host of problems, starting with the food, to fix our whole political system, everything. We get these companies out of here by just not buying from them anymore. You stop buying all these Kellogg's cornflakes, folks, the company, and I'm not just pointing to Kellogg's, of course, all these cereal companies, all these bread companies, and all these big dairy farmers and people who are producing food in mass, huge quantities, shipping it all over the world. Those are the companies I don't want in business. I think it's un-American. I think it's unnatural. I think if we want to rebuild this country, we do it from the inside. We do it with the food. We start taking charge of our own food and build our. We don't need the national governments. We don't need state governments telling us what we should be eating. We can do that from a community level, and then we're going to be a lot stronger country. Everything. So that's just the way I feel about it. That's my little rant on political. That's as far political as you can get me on. Okay, at least on the air. Okay, I've got one more segment coming up. It's 877-927-6648. I'll be back in a couple of minutes.
If you're an investor looking for a great weekly investment newsletter, then now is the perfect time to try out Ken Shreve's Ultimate Growth Stocks. Every Tuesday, Ken breaks down multiple sectors in his weekly newsletter, Ultimate Growth Stocks, with a full in-depth report including specific trading recommendations within his model portfolio, charts, sector analysis, upcoming economic data, along with intra-week trading updates on newsletter positions whenever the market dictates.
Right now, you can receive a full month, that's 30 days, to evaluate Ken's newsletter free of charge to see if it fits your trading plan. At less than $75 per month, Ken provides you with his expert trading advice that can pay for itself in no time. Take advantage of this great offer by signing up for a 30-day free trial to Ken Shreve's Ultimate Growth Stocks today. Don't let this offer pass you by. Visit the front page of TFNN.com and sign up now. With the launch of Tiger TV, TFNN has brought our programming to the next level. With Tiger TV, you gain access to each host charts and computer screen as they host their daily stock program. Whether it's Tom O'Brien, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, Ken Shreve, Kate Stalter, Dave White, Larry Pezzavento, or Victor Jones, you can catch all of our technicians hosting their programs live and archived on Tiger TV for your viewing pleasure 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. If you haven't checked out Tiger TV yet, then visit TFNN.com today to see what you're missing.
David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today. It's that time of year again, and the Great Panther Silver Summer Silver Giveaway is back. Every day in June, Monday through Friday, we'll be giving away a Great Panther Silver 1-ounce silver bar, and all you have to do to enter is visit the front page of TFNN.com and fill out your entry. Great Panther Silver and TFNN wishing you a great start to the summer. Sign up today to have a chance to win a 1-ounce silver bar during the Great Panther Silver Summer Silver Giveaway the whole month of June at TFNN.com.
Are you looking for a precision edge in the market? Something that can stack the odds in your favor? Then look into Larry Pezzavento's new trading newsletter, Patterns, Profits, and Peace of Mind. In each weekly issue, Larry explains what's going to happen in the markets based on the pattern he sees developing and gives you actionable trade ideas based on those patterns. Plus, you'll get his detailed analysis on a variety of markets and sectors, including stocks, treasury bonds, the gold market, oil, the dollar, the forex market, and more. And you'll get the Technical Corner segment, which is a short but powerful weekly training session on trading. You'll get access to all the patterns Larry is seeing in the markets, plus the Astro Harmonics and powerful Bradley stock market model that Larry utilizes for less than $5 a day. An extremely potent combination that will give you just the edge you've been looking for. Try Patterns, Profits, and Peace of Mind absolutely free for 2 weeks. Go to TFNN.com and click on the free trial link at the top of the page. That's an $85 value, yours free when you register right now. Get Larry's Patterns, Profits, and Peace of Mind and get the edge you've been looking for.
This segment is brought to you by TFNN. Test drive all the newsletters for free at TFNN.com.
Welcome back to the show, folks. Welcome, my Health Signals newsletter. Yeah, that's what I wanted to say. Please pick it up. I have a new issue out. A lot of good stuff in there. Some of them I talked about on the show. But pick it up. Twice a month, you get it, first and third Friday of each month, and it's only $10 a month, so that's $5 a copy. So I appreciate that. One of the things, of course, we talk about, and they're mentioning it in the chat room, that good food is more expensive, and the cheap food is the bad food. And in a sense, that's true. But if you look at the living a primal lifestyle type of diet, what you're going to do basically is take all that stuff I talked about that comes from the middle of the supermarket, and you're going to take that out. In other words, that's half the good. If you take just your food budget and don't count all the white, the paper goods and stuff like that, you're talking about half of it's the stuff that I'm talking about. Get rid of it. So that's half your budget. So now you can take that half budget and put in some really good food, and all of a sudden you got twice amount of good food, and that's all you're eating is the good food. And you'll find that your budget is not going to change that much. I probably would think within 10% of what it is now. You've just eliminated so much of the cost of that bad food, which really isn't necessary at all. You find yourself eating less, and the real trick is to get the satisfaction level up by introducing fats that are easy for you to digest. And that's a little different, but that's the only experiment you need, because when you're talking about a piece of fish or a piece of a bird, or whether it's beef or pork or some other kind of venison, and it can be any kind of fish or shellfish, that's your protein, has some fat with it already. Then the added fat would be in the method that you use to cook it with. Or you can supplement some better fats in, like the omega-3s, which you can take as a supplement. You can add saturated fat by the way of coconut oil or palm oil. You can buy medium-chain triglyceride oil and use that in salads. You can introduce some olive oil, use those cold. Some of the nut oils, use those cold. And that way you get a more satisfied thing. You can use, of course, the bulletproof type coffee. And that'll add more fat into it, which means you be more satisfied. You're not going to be hungry, and you'll find your diet is going to allow you to still. It'll be the same cost. It's not going to be any more money, and that's what I found. And people who are on the same type of diet find you're not really spending more. It's just that initial adjustments period. And for me, it wasn't that hard. I mean, I was up and running from day one, because what's wrong with a good piece of meat and some greens, as much as you want or as much as you don't want. Add a little fat to it, and a couple days a week, if you want to have a beer or a drink of some kind with alcohol, wine, or a shot of whiskey or something like that, you can have it. No big deal. If you want to have a little dessert once or twice a week, it's not a big deal, as long as it's made out of something good. It's not rocket science, but you need to find out why you shouldn't be eating these other things. That's the whole gist of living a primal lifestyle, getting rid of these things, because there's a good reason to, because most of it is worthless. You're wasting your money. The second, most of it's filled with things that are not good for us, some kind of drug of some kind that's making us ill in some manner. And the rest of it is doing research on where can I find the best food I can. Now, this food that I'm buying now, where can I find the best? And then you really elevate your health. So then you can get to that end point that we want of being healthy at 120 or 130 or whatever your lifespan is, whether even it's just 30 years old. I'll be back again next week, folks. Thanks a lot. Talk to you then.